All right, you guys, I have made it to Houston Frogs with Mr. Chase, and I met him at Aquashella, but I wanted to come and get him to give us a little tour of what he's got going on here. But he's got more locations, so one day we'll have to get to the other ones. But for now, we're at this location, which is just outside of Houston, Texas, Conroe, Texas. So he's got some really cool stuff going on here. And also, don't forget to check out his website, which is www.houstonfrogs.com. So, yeah, let's look at the mosses and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's...
I've got so many different projects.
Wow. Do I need to be, like, sterile? I feel like
the laboratory is a little different.
Okay. All right.
But I've been harvesting today, but I have some different types of liverwort that are going.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Aww.
Now I have, this is an unidentified moss.
An unidentified?
Yeah.
So how do you get an unidentified moss?
Well, I mean, you get tropical plants and all kinds of mosses pop up, and then you just have to do your best to try to ID them.
Cool.
This is riparian moss.
Oh, y'all, that's neat.
Yeah, this is something you typically find in Europe, but you can't really find in the United States, though. So
that's cool.
I'll be selling that very soon here.
Yes.
So
that's cool. And I know that you guys, that Misfit, he was able to get some moss he's been looking for 3 years. Wow. Yeah, I've never seen moss to look like that.
Well, I'm growing some terrestrially, I'm growing some aquatically, and I'm also doing a lot of the tissue culturing as well. So here's some of my aquatic mosses.
Hello.
I have to actually dose these each week because I'm keeping them by themselves. There's no fish in there or anything else.
Okay.
So this one's overtaken with duckweed right now, so I need to start a new culture. That's a ton of Riccia.
I love Riccia.
A ton of Riccia fluvians.
Yes. Oh, how thick that is. Now, do you dose with CO2?
So I do, actually. Okay. I dose with a lot of other things too. Yeah. And it's all about keeping the proper levels in each container.
Right.
So I have to go around and test each week too. This is anchor moss.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, because you also have to make sure you don't have too many nutrients, but you also have to make sure that you have enough to where you get good growth out of them. And this is Mayberry, which is really beautiful.
Oh, I have never seen that or heard of it. Yeah, that's pretty.
Really rare.
Now, that probably grows, close to the top and then pops out of the top?
Yeah,
or it doesn't matter?
It'll grow anywhere. It'll grow anywhere, really. Okay. It can grow floating. It can grow off the bottom. So I have Cameroon.
That's not known very well either. I like the way that grows.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, I've got a bunch of tissue culture mosses over here. I actually got to go through and split a lot of these out.
Tissue cultures are good.
Here's one that is not currently in the U.S. hobby so far as tissue culture mosses are concerned.
Okay.
This is Singapore moss.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be releasing this probably the next month.
Okay. And it's a tissue culture, so there you go, you guys.
Yeah. You know, some of these mosses, I mean, every once in a while you can get them, but getting them in tissue culture is a whole nother game. And then here is Serpines moss. It's a very fine moss.
Oh, it is.
It's also called nano moss.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, that's another one that's not currently in the U.S., except, well, here.
So are you going to propagate them since you've got them now, or just keep getting in?
Yeah, it's just a matter of subculturing them. I mean, I do everything in-house.
Right, right. I knew that.
Yeah, this is Riccia broad.
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
different.
So this is a lot thicker than what the normal Riccia fluvians
Now,
is.
the blue, this is different than the normal, like, clear or...
Yeah, so this is just a dye that I use in here.
Okay.
And really I can make that any color.
Okay.
Sometimes I do it based upon batch, and
Okay.
sometimes I do it based upon client if someone wants a particular color.
Oh, okay.
Because I have some stores that want certain colors.
Yeah.
And so I'll do that for them. I'll also put their labeling on as well. And then also, let's see here, we have Riccia comitrifolia. This is pretty cool. This is uncommon in the U.S. hobby.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I really like the liverworts.
Yes.
Very cool. And then peacock moss is common in the U.S. hobby so far as ex vitro, but so far as in vitro, it's pretty uncommon in the hobby, I'd say.
Oh, that is cool. And that's how to grow underwater as well?
Actually, the terrestrial growth habit is different from the aquatic growth habit.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually,
This makes me even more excited.
Some peacock moss are here, and unfortunately, I underdosed for the biomass in here, and so I had a lot of browning, and I'm actually trying to resurrect it. I've got to start a new culture, but you can see a very different growth habit of peacock moss.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's still pretty as all get out, though.
Oh, it is. But you see, I have to get the dosing perfect,
Right.
or else it just doesn't do well.
Right.
Another thing I have that's really not in the U.S. hobby, as far as...
There's some guppies.
Oh, yeah, it's like that. Let's see here. Where is it? This one is... This is giant Java moss.
Giant Java moss.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
And then I also have... Let's see here.
So about how long will the tissue cultures last?
It's a floating staghorn fern. So it depends upon the methodology you use to prepare them.
Okay.
A normal tissue culture, once it comes onto market, once it's on a store shelf, it's going to be there anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe 4 weeks.
Okay.
Typically they're grown out at that point. Unfortunately, they do run out of nutrients eventually.
Okay.
And depending on the growth rate, depending on what it is in particular, some will burn out. So they'll just all of a sudden brown out and die, unfortunately. Now, the way that I prepare them, typically they can last on shelf for anywhere from 3 to 4 months. But I actually do like a hybridized medium. I do a liquid nutrient medium on top of a solid nutrient medium.
Okay.
And it's my own method that I developed. It's something that allows them to last for a lot longer.
Right.
Without drying out and without running out nutrients as quickly.
Right.
But again, it's something that, as far as I know, I'm the only one that's doing it.
I say, need to get that stuff patented.
Right. Well, it's like $10,000 to get a patent. So
Yeah.
I come up with a new product every week. So. And I have chlorella algae. This is laboratory prepared. You see it's clumped together a little bit in the bottom.
Yeah.
Also has spirulina algae. Also have pyrocysts. Which
Are those the bioluminescent ones?
When you shake these at night, they'll actually bioluminesce.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
It's pretty cool. You can see the little guys floating in there.
No, they're live, I guess.
They're alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Huh.
So pretty cool.
How did you come by doing that?
Well, you could ask me that about that one.
Because that's way different than culturing mosses and tissue cultures.
I do a lot of different stuff when it comes to bacteria, plants, fungi. I mean, I do a little of everything.
Okay.
So, and then also, let's see here, and I have like the normal ones. I have some. This is Plagionium affine. This is uncommon in the U.S. hobby.
Okay.
It has a really cool growth to it.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so all these are on the website except for the new ones, the U.S. hobby. Still
What is that?
culturing them out.
What is that?
Oh, that's just some bucci.
Okay.
So I have a lot of different types of bucci. Let's see here. And unfortunately, I have these coded. I can't remember what the code is. I'd have to look at my book to see what they are.
That's okay. Those are cool.
But I think I have 15 different types of bucci.
Oh, wow.
So I really need to start putting those on the website.
Good to know, y'all.
Yeah, I have a lot of different types. And, what is this? That's more Singapore moss. I also have creeping moss, and this is something that, again, is new to the U.S.
Creeping moss. Oh, it just like grabs a hold of the side and
yeah, it tries to escape.
Really tries to hold on to a side,
and
huh?
the problem is, if it escapes, it gets contaminated, and I have to throw the whole thing out.
Really?
So, yeah.
Dang.
I can't sell anything contaminated.
Well, no, but you wouldn't think that just a little bit coming out would contaminate it.
And every once in a while, you get things that do become contaminated, and this is what contaminated culture looks like. So, and that's just literally if the slightest thing goes wrong, a single spore gets in there, someone opens it for a half a millisecond and closes it, then yeah, it gets
Is that
contaminated.
what's wrong with that, or is that the way that grows?
These have all been pulled out because of some sort of contamination.
Oh, okay.
I have to go through and do quality control checks each week.
Wow.
And you know, it's just something that happens. You're always going to have some that do.
Now these are
plants that have needed to be cared for months.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to reset those up. And then I have a little test terrarium. This test terrarium.
I have that one on the live stream. That's the one you took to
cool.
Aquashella, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is where I do a lot of my experimentation.
Okay,
so,
cool.
So these were all started from tissue cultures.
And then your
now if you want to see some and then mushroom cultures too, yes. And then I have something really cool over here. It's a little terrarium. Here it is. Okay. It's a little terrarium I made, and this actually has some of the tissue cultured moss inoculant on the background.
Oh.
So you can see the serpens moss, which is those really fine little strands of moss.
Yeah.
You can see some of the riparian moss. You can see some Java moss. You can see some Moslem tenarum.
Oh, cool. Huh.
Yeah.
And now you have, are those your mushrooms? Your
these are some of my
glow in the dark
3D mushrooms. Yeah, my glow in the dark mushrooms.
Yes, I want to get some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, so it's a room full of projects essentially. So.
It's a lot.
Sometimes I've got
a lot.
Too much. Too much. I get a little stretched thin sometimes.
Right.
Let me show you the next room.
Next.
So, this is what a lot of people probably think is the coolest room.
Go ahead. Oh.
Yeah. So, this is the laboratory. I mean, this is just a space where I do a lot of my preparation work. You can see I just finished a batch of moss inoculant, so it's been brought out of the lab and ready for packaging.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what you just saw in there, the end result of.
Okay.
So.
And you do that in there? I
do that in there. Now this is just the decontamination chamber. This is where I do preparation to go into the laboratory. This is sort of an in-between space.
Right.
Now in the lab.
Looks like something from space.
Yeah. I built everything myself. You're welcome to come in.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine.
You want me to take my shoes off?
Yeah, if you don't mind taking your shoes
off.
I have to go through a decontamination anyway, so I'll probably do that tonight.
Look at this. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
So, I do a lot of my mushroom bags over here. The tissue culturing takes place in this space here.
Okay.
And so this is where magic happens, I guess you could say.
Right.
So, it has to be kept extremely clean. Every time that I finish with the tissue culturing cycle, I have to go through a decontamination cycle. Just make sure that the next batch has as low contamination rates as possible.
And now you built all of this yourself?
I built all this myself.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we have culture storage in the back for a lot of the fungal cultures, as well as the fridge, which is chock full of syringes of liquid culture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's our cold storage.
Can say I've never seen this yet.
Very cool.
This is pretty cool.
So, and then if you want to come through here.
You bet. I'm not touching anything except for these doors. Oh, we get unzippered.
Yeah, well, I still need to install a magnetic door over here. But I have more tissue culture storage over there. That's a lot of experimental cultures.
And the temperature in here is like a refrigerator.
Yeah, it's much lower on this side. Yes, it is. And part of that is because there's so much heat produced by the lights that I need to keep that area cool as well.
Okay.
I have all of my intakes over here, and so those intakes are taking this cold air in.
Right.
Because using all the different equipment generates a lot of heat.
Sure it does.
But anyways, this is an experimental fruiting chamber. So I've got, you know, before a culture of fungi can be sold or a product can be sold that's mushroom culture, I have to fruit out to make sure that it's proven.
Oh, that is
so
cool.
You can see this coral tooth here. It's looking really nice.
Yeah.
You see I harvested from it before already.
Okay.
This will be the second harvest.
So it's like the mother plant.
Kind of. But it's a fruiting block, and so I sell these fruiting blocks on the website, actually a smaller version.
That's right. You told me about that the last time.
And then I have different strains of reishi up here. So
that one looks like the ones...
multi-pileum. Yeah, I had one of these at the show.
They look like the fairy things that would be on trees or something.
But this is reishi multipileum.
Oh, wow.
So people get these as decor, but they'll also get them because it has a lot of medicinal benefits as well.
Okay.
So it's been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years.
Wow.
But that's multipileum. I also have senescence at the bottom. This is black reishi. See, it looks like some little spaceships.
Sure does.
So, really interesting.
Sure does. And now these things these mushrooms can grow in your, like, terrariums and paludariums and stuff also?
Yeah, you can actually see this is one of our terrarium kits that's starting to fruit out.
Oh, wow.
So, these are smaller kits that are made to be put in smaller spaces. They're not going to have as large a fruiting bodies as what these are. Here's a mini coral tooth.
Ooh.
Yeah, but this is made particularly for vivariums or terrariums, saying it's to be safe for animals, saying it's not going to just take over the whole thing.
Right, okay.
And typically with types of fungi, they're not going to drop a huge spore load either.
Okay.
So then, on this side, I have some inoculated pieces of wood. And these, I'm still doing experimentation with these at the moment. Okay. But when I release these, essentially, you put this in a terrarium or vivarium, and it just grows out mushrooms.
Now that's cool. That's cool. That's for people like me that are novice with this.
Normally, I sell these dowels that are inoculated with different types of fungi. You have to drill the hole yourself, hammer it in, cover it with beeswax or paraffin wax, something like that, and then wait for it to colonize. And then once it's fully colonized, it'll start to fruit out. But these I'm going to be selling pre-inoculated, where all you have to do is take it out, set it, forget it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do all the complex work here.
Yes.
And then all people have to worry about is putting in their vivarium and enjoying it.
Right.
So
that's cool. Until they want to do the crossover to something like this and start growing everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and normally that tent is more full, but I've been stretched in so many different directions lately, especially.
Do you want me to touch the zipper, or do you want to touch it?
Fine, if you want to zip it up. Yeah. Like I said, this is an in-between area. It's the most sterilized of any area. Typically, I have to run a UVC light to everything. All right. Yeah. You can see a lot of the different fungal cultures. You can see what happens when they're neglected for too long. They escape. So,
no.
It's a constant maintenance struggle.
Isn't everything?
Yeah. Everything.
It's where you got to decide what's what.
That's why I keep a lot of stuff in cold storage, because if I forget about it for like a month or two, then I can just go and wake up a piece of that culture and we're good to go again.
That's cool. That's what normal people don't think about.
Yeah, you have to have backups and backups and backups and backups.
Yeah.
So, set of shells.
Got it.
That's fine.
All right.
But anyways, so these are a lot of the finished prints. So if you're a fan of isopods, you know, I have isopods. These are little pink ones. They even have the legs. So, and these are safe for aquariums or terrariums or vivariums.
Okay.
So they're not going to leach anything. Yeah, I have all kinds of tiny stuff. Like if you want to see tiny trilobites, got the tiniest little trilobites you've ever seen.
Okay, what is a trilobite?
Think about it like a ancient crustacean that's now extinct.
Okay.
Not related to an isopod, but it seems like it'd be related to an isopod.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, ancient invertebrates that are now extinct.
Itty bitty 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 bitty.
Yeah.
And then you found something to put the itty bitty bitty thing in.
Yeah, a little 0.5 mil
right.
vials. But see, they even have little legs too. Very highly detailed.
That is so cool.
And then
that is so cool. And then this one is the one that we showed on the
yeah, the Allosaurus.
yeah.
And then I've got all kinds of different dinosaur skulls. I even have little tiny human skulls too.
Oh, that was a big hit, especially during this time leading up to Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, people love this stuff for Halloween.
Right.
I also have my my gravestones back in stock for that time, my little pumpkins.
And I've been saying the pumpkins, it should be coming up soon.
Yeah, the orange resin is just very hard to mix. So that's the only bad thing about that. That's why I usually don't do it most of the year.
Okay.
And then here's a little alien skull. Those for alien fans. It's a xenomorph skull.
Oh, that's too cool.
Isn't that neat?
That is cool. So pretty much anything you could imagine you do. Like print.
I mean, I could print almost anything. The whole thing about it is the modeling. The modeling is the hardest thing out of anything.
Right,
so,
right.
And each model has to be made particularly for a certain type of printer.
Okay.
So if I try to print that model on one printer and then try to use the same file on another printer, it won't work.
Oh.
So some random stuff all over the place. These are some of our terrarium/vivarium kits.
Oh, the mushrooms.
So see, they come with a information sheet.
Oh, yeah.
And this one's fully colonized and ready to go.
Yeah.
And so you saw the one that was fruiting out in that chamber back there. This is the same exact block.
Okay.
So all you have to do is put in your vivarium or terrarium. It's exposed to humidity, and it'll start to fruit out. And generally, we'll push the patch off.
Okay.
Or you can take the patch off, but I just like to let them push the patch off.
Okay. Because I always wondered how they got out of the plastic. But
they will
that's
find
how.
a way. You saw the ones bursting out over there?
Yep.
Yeah. Fungi are a lot stronger than you'd think.
Yeah. Clearly.
So.
Yeah. Turkey tail.
Yeah. Springtail chocolate. This is clay to culture springtails on.
Springtails.
So springtails are so cool, and a lot of people don't realize in the aquatic hobby, these can actually be used as feeders for fish.
Really?
So top feeding fish, like little endlers, guppies, things like that, they love to go after these.
Wow.
And springtails actually have little tiny hairs on their body that cause them to float. So they actually float on the surface of the water, and then the fish can just pick them off. And they're very easy to culture at home, very high in fat. And so that's what they call a rose of Jericho.
This is a rose of Jericho?
Or a resurrection fern. It's a type of Selaginella, and once exposed to water, it'll actually bloom out. It comes back to life. It comes out dormancy.
It grows in the south on a bunch of trees, on a bunch of cypress trees.
Well, this is more from the desert, but you're thinking about resurrection fern.
Okay.
The resurrection fern, yes, it does do that.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things is there's a lot of people that will sell sticks that have these resurrection ferns and moss on them. But if they sell you a stick and you put it in your terrarium or vivarium, eventually that fern's going to die because they have to go through that state of dormancy to be able to, I guess you could say, rejuvenate themselves.
Okay.
And so if they don't have a dry period where they die back, and you just keep them wet all the time, they'll die.
They'll rot.
And so that's the problem. You buy a stick for like $5 or $10, and you're like, oh, it has this cool little fur, and it's like dead, and you're like, oh.
Oh man, yeah, that wouldn't know that.
The only way to keep it is to pull it out and let it dry out, and then put it back, every once in a while, like every month or so. But the thing about it, though, is you're also breaking biosecurity too when you do that, because there's all kinds of pests that those wild collected things can have on them. So.
That you may not want the critter that you have in that thing to get.
Yes. All types of bacteria, fungi, viruses, mites, snail eggs, nemertine eggs.
Here's the corkwood, you guys. Is this a real mushroom?
So, yes, that's a real dry racial mushroom.
Okay.
Yes.
So if it got wet, what would it do?
I mean, it would mold.
Okay.
So typically what people will do with these is they'll coat them in usually some type of a clear coating.
Okay.
So that's going to be...
So they can put...
Yeah, so they can use that as a mushroom ledge.
Oh my gosh, my milk frogs would love that.
Yeah, a lot of people get them for their frogs. So, and I mean, you can put them in as they are. They're going to mold, and then springtails typically will eat the mold off of them.
Okay.
Because springtails are fungivores. They love fungi.
Right.
But they're not going to last near as long either. They're only going to last, a few months in a very wet environment. Versus if you coat them with something, again, something that's going to be safe for amphibians or whatever else is in the tank, they'll last for a couple of years.
Okay.
So
you wouldn't want to get that for a fish tank to let it go down and
no, typically
not for botanical.
Right. Yeah, I mean, all the other botanicals will be great for a fish tank, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend the fungi for that.
There's some cool stuff too. Some stuff I'd never seen.
Yeah, I get things from all over.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
And that's something that I enjoy doing, is bringing unique things into the hobby that people hadn't seen before. So, but yeah,
spider wood.
I used to sell these a lot, but I don't anymore, again, because of shipping.
What is that?
It's like it's a long bean pod from Africa, essentially.
And what would you do with this?
Well, a lot of people use them for vivarium decor.
Like, just for like the frogs to grab a hold of and hang on?
No, I mean, they can climb on it, or you just use it as hardscape.
And it stays hard?
So it will eventually rot like anything else.
Okay, all
right. But it does last for a while.
That's cool.
Yeah. But again,
something different.
Too big to ship.
Yeah.
So
taking up a lot of your time, and I want to save some of your brilliance up here for the live show that you're going to come on.
Oh, if you have any questions to ask, you're welcome to ask me now, or you can save them for then. It's up to you.
Well, I kind of asked as I've gone along. I just kind of do that. But I can't wait to get him live, you guys, because I know y'all have been waiting and asking a lot of questions since I've been talking about him on the show. And if you've missed the show, then you've missed a lot. So you need to go back and watch in your spare time, right? Yeah. But Chase, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me come inside your business and snoop around and look around and giving me a tour of everything.
Oh, it's no problem at all.
And y'all, Houston, when you're here, maybe check him out.